This is Chris Bumstead, the 4-time Olympia champion. And for the next 24 hours, I'm gonna be eating like the man himself. Alrighty, for meal number 1 here, we have our 1 egg, 250 grams of egg whites. And then in this bowl here, we have some oatmeal and a scoop of protein powder. Very bodybuilder bro breakfast today. I mean, the oats with protein powder there, I think that's like the ultimate like bro type of meal, because like that's not really that creative when it comes to making like an anabolic recipe. It's super easy, super simple. I'm more of a protein French toast type of guy, but hey, to each their own. I mean, he is a 4-time Mr. Olympia, so I can't argue with it, right? So for just the food portion here, we have 656 calories. Overall macros here are 67 protein, 60 carb, 9 fiber, and then 14 grams of fat. He also has in the morning like a whole like other glutamine fiber shake. I didn't have that, so I just wanted to have the overall food portion of it, but I think that adds like maybe 100 calories to his meal, because I think his first meal was like around 700 calories. This right here is meal number 1. Let's give these eggs a little bit of taste test. They just have salt and pepper on them. This is Chris Bumstead's 2.5 week out diet, so at this point everything tastes good to him. But let's give these a shot, shall we? Very plain. See, if you've ever been on prep before, when you're single digit body fat 2.5 weeks out for a show, you can eat literally anything and it's gonna taste fantastic. It's kind of crazy how your taste buds change as you get leaner. You just start loving food a whole lot more. Even the simplest things just taste good. Even the things that you don't normally even like to eat taste good. It's kind of weird. But I'm in a bit of a rush because I need to head to work. I'm gonna wolf this down really quickly, head to the gym, train some clients, and I will see you guys in the next meal of the day. Alrighty, here with the next meal of the day. We have here is 150 grams of white rice, as well as 200 grams of cod, and then, you know, Chris Bumstead loves his shredded lettuce, so we put just a little bit of shredded lettuce on top with some sriracha. This is the next meal of the day. A little bit of a smaller meal than meal number 1, which I actually don't mind, because when I'm dieting, especially for a show, and just trying to be very consistent with wanting to get lean, I think the best way to do it is by eating pretty big in the morning and then tapering your food off as the day goes on. Or you can break it down into even, you know, size meals throughout the day. I personally like to eat a little bit bigger in the morning than taper my food off, just because as I get closer to when I have to go to bed, I don't want a lot of food sitting in my stomach, because I want to get the best possible sleep. And if you eat too much, it can affect your sleep. This right here is 375 calories. Overall calories for the day are about 1,000 calories. Overall macros are 110 grams of protein, 106 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fiber, and then 15 grams of fat. Very low fat, but hey, this is his 2.5 week diet out. That's to be expected. I'm not the biggest fan of white fish, but if I had to eat white fish, cod would definitely be it. It's probably the best tasting white fish, although it does stink a bunch. So if you don't like that fishy smell, I mean, you might not be a fan of it. Also, what I have right here is a sparkling water. Normally when I diet, I like to have, you know, some type of diet soda, diet beverage to coincide with my meals, because it makes me feel more full, more satiated. But Chris Bumstead actually tries to avoid as much artificial sweetener as possible as he gets closer to his show. That's just the way he likes to diet. I personally don't think that's 100% necessary. I don't think it's gonna make you any leaner if you have less artificial sweetener. Everyone's body is different though. So for me personally, I could uptake a crap ton of artificial sweetener and be perfectly fine. For someone like Chris, he may want to avoid artificial sweetener. It could upset his stomach. It could make him feel a lot more bloated. You know, everybody's body is so different. But me personally, I actually like to have a lot of artificial sweetener, a lot of diet sodas leading up until my show. I mean, I even drink a diet soda the day before my show. Not too many, because I'm trying to dehydrate myself, but I do in fact have artificial sweetener, you know, before my show. To each their own, but in honor of Chris Bumstead, we're just gonna have some sparkling water instead. No artificial sweeteners here. Last bite of the meal going down. This was meal number 2. We're gonna have one more meal and then we're gonna head to the gym, because Chris Bumstead likes to have 3 meals before he hits the gym, which is gonna be half of the meals we're having for the day. I mean, we're eating 6 times a day today. We're going full Brody builder mode. I'm more of a 5 meal per day kind of guy, but hey, it is what it is. Gonna let this sit and digest, and I will see you guys in the next meal of the day. And that is meal number 3 right there. What we have on this plate is 180 grams of ground turkey, 99.1, 175 grams of white rice, a handful of shredded lettuce, and then some chopped up zucchini with some mustard on the ground turkey. This right here is going to be the pre-workout meal for the day as well. The overall calories for this meal are 441, so not a whole lot of calories for this meal. It's sub 500 calories, but a lot of volume, and the reason why is because you have the shredded lettuce and the zucchini on there. So although it's not a lot of calories, it can be very filling because of those vegetables. So if you're trying to lean out, trying to diet harder than last time, include vegetables in your diet to fill up your stomach, make you feel more full. That way you're not starving and then overeating and then, you know, ruining your cut or trying to lose weight. Overall calories for the day are 1472. Overall macros are 156 grams of protein, 159 grams of carbs, 11 grams of fiber, and then 18 grams of fat for the day. We'll go to the gym, work on some shoulders and some arms today. I'm gonna eat this while I study up on Chris Bumstead's coach and kind of exactly how to train, the way he trains, because I know he has a very particular style. His coach is Hanny Rambot. I think I'm pronouncing that right. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it wrong or right. It's FT7 or something like that. I forget the exact name of it, but I know it's a very specific style of training. I haven't really looked too much into it, so I'm going to do my research now, do my due diligence, carry that over into my training. Maybe we can learn a thing or two. Be very interesting, very different style of training for today. Gonna eat this, study up, and I will see you guys during the workout.
Steps keep me awake. Don't cut me down, throw me out, leave me here to waste. I once was a man with could you feel if you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly. I know we're long gone. If you wanna go, then I'll be slowly. If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly. Let me down, let me down, let me down, let me down. If you wanna go, then I'll be so lonely. If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly. And I can't find slowly, a little sympathy, I hope you can show me. If you wanna go, then I'll be so lonely. If you're leaving, baby, let me down slowly, let me down.
Alrighty, back from the gym, and what we have for this meal is the post-workout meal, and I believe the last meal with carbs in it. Chris Bumstead with his prep and his coach agreed that they were gonna have carbs in and around training, so they would have carbs leading up to training, a little bit more carbs pre-workout, some carbs post-workout. This is something that when he gets home from the gym, he kind of immediately gets to his meal, then showers, then gets ready, lets the time pass until his next meal. And it was a little bit different from what he usually does. I know he maybe comes home from the gym, showers, you know, unwinds a little bit, then gets to the meal. So meal timing was a little bit more specific for him during this prep, and making sure he had an even spread of meals throughout the entire day was something that I know him and his coach definitely focused on. What we have here is 150 grams of white rice. We have 180 grams of ground turkey, shredded lettuce, of course, some zucchini, and salt on there. Overall calories for the day so far, 1879. Overall macros are 202 protein, 204 carb, 12 fiber, 21 grams of fat for the day. Now I do want to talk a bit about the training because the music was very loud at the gym and I didn't have my wireless mic, so I couldn't necessarily talk super clear into the microphone. So I hope you enjoyed that mini kind of montage of the gym. But with FST7, what I was quickly looking up before the actual workout, it's a little bit different than how I normally train. The rest times are usually 30 seconds to a minute or so. Now I'm used to finishing within 30 seconds to a minute, just not in the gym. And when it comes to my rest time in the gym, I'm usually resting between like 3 to 5 minutes sometimes, taking a bit longer in my breaks, but trying to make the set as intense as possible when I am working out. Now, for the main setup of the movement, you have your main compounds, which was a shoulder press. I did the machine and dumbbell shoulder press for that. 4 sets, relatively 8 to 12 reps. This is where you're gonna get most of your compound, your heavy lifting in. And I also had that same setup for my biceps and my triceps with the skull crushers and the easy bar curl. Those were like traditional sets, 8 to 12, a bit heavier. But when I got into the side laterals and then the bicep cable curls and the tricep pushdowns, that is where the FST7 came into play. And so with that, it's basically 7 sets, right around 10 to 15 reps, and then you're only resting for about 30 seconds or so. And in between your sets, you're also gonna be doing a bit of posing, flexing that muscle, getting as much blood flow into that muscle. And it was just different, and honestly I actually quite enjoyed it. I had a really good pump during that time. It could have been, you know, all the food leading up to it. It could have been the training. Either way, it was a very good workout. And to be honest with you, I quite enjoyed it, and I'll probably incorporate something like that in my training in the future. And this is what I love about doing these kind of videos, because people train all kinds of different ways. There's no kind of right or wrong way, I think, to train. It's all about finding what you enjoy, and everyone's methods are a bit different, and you can always learn from different people, especially people at the elite level. And that whole training style was very different, and I enjoyed it, and it's something I will definitely be throwing in my future programming. And so I might not recommend that training style specifically for you, but what I do recommend is to learn from other people, incorporate someone else's, you know, methods and ideas into your training, see what works and see what doesn't. And that is how you become just more of an experienced lifter overall. And thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Gonna try and quickly eat this because we still have 2 more meals, and I do not want to be up until midnight trying to finish them. See you guys in the next meal. This right here is a protein shake, and I know what you're thinking. It's a great way to end the night off. However, the night is not over yet, my friends. This is the 5th time we're ingesting calories. So I'm not really eating this. This isn't really a meal, but we're having a protein shake. Chris Bumstead, the way he did it, he kind of made it into like a more of an ice cream situation with just the ice and the protein itself. I'm just gonna drink the protein shake because it's 10 o'clock at night and I don't want to stay up super late trying to eat all this food because we still have 1 more meal to go. The overall calories for the day are 2,029 calories. Overall macros are 226 grams of protein, 210 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fiber, and then 24 grams of fat. Super low fat, super high protein, moderate carb. If this was my diet for a show, I probably have a little bit less protein, a little bit more carbs. Fats, honestly, probably around the same amount. Besides that though, this is the 5th meal for the day. I'm gonna drink this, let it digest, and as soon as I have the appetite to try and go and get a 6th meal, because although these calories are a bit lower, it was still a decent amount of volume for the food, especially with that zucchini and the shredded lettuce. And I'm not single digit body fat percentage, so this 2,000 calorie diet is actually keeping me quite full because of the amount of volume from those veggies. But if I was getting ready for a show, I probably would be extremely hungry no matter what. Gonna drink this, and I will see you guys in the 6th and final meal of the day. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, here with the last and final meal of the day, and what this is 180 grams of ground turkey. And with this meal, it puts our overall calories at 2,200 or 2,236, but right around 2,200 calories. Overall macros are 267 grams of protein, 210 grams of carbs, 13 grams of fiber, and then 28 grams of fat for the day. Overall, not a bad full day of eating, and the reason why is because last time I did a full day of eating like Chris Bumstead, while he was dieting for the Mr. Olympia, it was like a 1,600 calorie diet, and that was absolutely horrendous. I mean, by the end of the video, I actually got up in the middle of the night after I filmed that video and went on a straight hiatus of consuming calories because I was so hungry. That was just 1 day of doing it, 2200 is much more manageable and much more realistic, and that's a good sign. You know, for him to be able to eat 2200 calories and still diet and make weight, that's a great sign for him to be able to eat more food and still get lean. The goal of dieting, in my opinion, is to be able to eat the most amount of food while still losing fat, and for him to able to increase his calories by another like 700 to 600 calories, fantastic. So I'm going to eat this, finish editing this video, and go to bed, because the day I'm actually recording this is the day before it goes up. So full day of not only eating but filming. It's currently about to be 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm wrapping the video up here. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. It's me, your boy Joe. Peace.